I asked him why he wasn't running again. Because he's not, in Congress terms, he's not that old.
Sure.
And he was like, I just don't think I have it anymore. He was like, I don't think that I have the killer instinct that a candidate needs to run for this 6th term.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by Congressional reporter Lauren Green. Lauren, you've been focused lately on Nebraska, which Democrats are really coveting, what we've always really thought of as a reliably Republican state. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so the incumbent in Nebraska 2, which represents a lot of Omaha, is Don Bacon, and he announced a retirement earlier this year. That's always been a purple seat. One of the, I would think, Cook Political Report says that it's the most competitive district on paper. And he's just had this grasp on the district for now 5 terms, which 5 terms is a long time to hold a purple seat. I interviewed him last week before I went to Omaha for Senator Warren and Congressman Maxwell Frost held a rally there, and their efforts to flip the seat now that, I think obviously they're going to try to flip the seat even if he didn't retire.
Sure.
But now that he's retiring, it's the only Republican held seat that does lean Democrat now, according to also Cook Political Report. But I talked to Congressman Bacon this past week, and he said that the only thing that he believes, or not the only thing, but the main thing that led him to win these 5 elections in a row in such a competitive district is, he said, his killer instinct on what the district wants and what the district needs and like what they want to hear. And he told me, he was like, I asked him why he wasn't running again. Because he's not, in Congress terms, he's not that old.
Sure.
And he was like, I just don't think I have it anymore. He was like, I don't think that I have the killer instinct that a candidate needs to run for this 6th term. And so that ultimately was why he said that he wants to spend a lot more time with his family. But him leaving does open up a really big opportunity for Democrats to pick up the seat. And with Democrats only need to pick up 3 seats to regain the majority, since Speaker Mike Johnson has the slimmest majority. And that's one pretty easy one for them to pick up. So I think that that's going to be the most competitive district going into 2026. And I think that a lot of Democrats in Omaha are ready to flip that seat. I know that the mayoral race earlier this year went blue for one of the first times in a while. And so I think that that's an indication that that seat will most likely end up flipping next year.
And Bacon is not a super Trumpy guy, and that's certainly not a super Trumpy district.
Yes, he has definitely broken with Trump on many occasions. He doesn't necessarily agree with his handlings of the Russia-Ukraine war, the tariffs. He has introduced some bills to bring back tariff authority back to Congress that has kind of been tabled by the Speaker through different rule votes, but in September those rules should be up. So it'll be interesting to see if he does anything with that. But he's definitely been one of the moderates that has not shied away from breaking with Trump, which has definitely set him apart.
So summer recess is about to be over.
Yes.
Very sad. But lawmakers really face a new challenge coming up, because government funding is going to be the next real thing on the agenda.
Totally.
Where do things stand right now, do you think?
As of right now, before we left for recess, a lot of members were even the ones who hate continuing resolutions, which funds the government for a period of time. It just extends current funding. So if they were to pass a full year CR, which is what it is kind of looking at right now, I mean, obviously things change drastically when Congress comes back, but it would essentially push Biden funding levels for a full another year if they were to do this year-long continuing resolution. I don't really foresee them passing 12 appropriations bills through committees, the House, the Senate, and then hitting President Trump's desk, just because, I mean, although they have a majority in the House, the Senate, and then they have the presidency, the Senate still does require that 60 vote threshold.
Sure.
With 53, 54 Republicans in the Senate, I think that 6 Democratic votes is a lot of whipping, especially after the House and the Senate passed the rescissions bill, which essentially codified cuts that the administration made to previous funding that was passed through the House and the Senate. And I think that, I mean, not that Democrats are trusting Republicans in Congress, but I think that broke that trust even further whenever it comes to appropriating funding. The Democrats are big on Congress holding the power of the purse, and that rescissions kind of in their heads took that away. So it'll be interesting to see if they're willing to work with Republicans at all on a deal in the Senate. But I mean, ultimately, Republicans do hold the majority in all 3 chambers, so it does come down to their leadership working with Democrats in the Senate to keep the government open. And I'm sure that it'll come down to that midnight deadline in September.
Definitely. So far, though, even with a very narrow House majority dating all the way back to the Biden administration, they have avoided government shutdowns.
Yeah, I mean, pretty narrowly. They like.
Yeah.
I think they like to make it big and dramatic. We're always there till midnight the night of, and everyone's like waiting for that shutdown. But yeah, I just think with a slim majority, Congress has not been funding the government as typical. We've done continuing resolutions for the past few years, and I don't really foresee that being different this year. There's those fiscal hawks that want to see major cuts, and they say that they'll never support a CR, and then they always end up voting for a CR. They get that call from Trump, or they get that call from the speaker, and they usually end up caving. I talked to some of them. They're not happy about the CR coming, but I think that they know that that's the reality.
Yeah, well, the phone call from Trump is hard to ignore.
I can't imagine.
So now you have a new show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my partner in the House, Rachel, and I, we started Capitol Conversations. Rachel's from Illinois, and then I'm from Texas. We want to bridge national news to areas that it doesn't usually reach. I think that a lot of times it's easy to get wrapped up in the Beltway and the DMV and kind of that insider reporting, but we want to break it down and break down what a CR is, what swing districts are, for people outside of that, people from where we're from, people from further than that, and then just answer any questions that they have about our show and like what we do and how the Capitol works, because most people don't really understand that.
Yeah, including some members of Congress.
Totally. I mean, I didn't before I came here. I think that I was kind of shell-shocked once I got here at like the inner workings of what we talked about this week with the relationships of lobbyists to members of Congress to reporters. It's all kind of shocking.
Very cool. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You can read Lauren and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.